Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I greatly appreciate you being here. So as we all know, it's officially the month of April, which is a very special month for me because it is my birthday month. My actual birthday is April 15th, but if you're like me, we tend to celebrate the entire month. So to celebrate the occasion, I have a few special videos that I'll be putting out for you guys for the remainder of this month. They all have something to do with either the month or the era that I was born in, and I'm really excited about them. So make sure that you stay tuned for those. And to kick all those videos off, I thought I would start it all out with a 90s makeup tutorial. If you haven't guessed by now, yes, I am a 90s baby, born and raised, obviously. And to this day, I am still overly obsessed with the 90s, and I don't care what era you were born. Like, you can't tell me the 90s wasn't popping, okay? Like, you just can't. The 90s were everything, in my opinion. Maybe a little biased, but even if you weren't born in the 90s, I think you could agree. The 90s just had the best music and the best fashion, the best toys, the best TV shows. Like, So for my 90s makeup today, obviously I went for the 90s grunge look. Got my hoops, got my space buns, got my chokers, and I even got on my Guns N' Roses t-shirt. Well, one of them anyways. So yeah, without further ado, if you want to see how I turn myself into the 5th member of the craft, then keep on watching. Alright, so obviously we already have our foundation on and brows as well. Now the reason I went ahead and did my brows off camera is because these are technically not 90s brows. Any of you remember 90s brows? They needed a little bit of help. Back then everyone and their mama was tweezing the crap out of the brows to the point where there was nothing left but thin little lines above your eyeballs. Oh, nostalgia. Sorry guys, but I was just not about to repeat that trend. The small amount of natural hair that I actually have up under here, yeah, it's there to stay. I was not about to tweeze the crap out of it for the sake of this video. Nor did I feel like going through the process of covering my natural brows just to draw one. Yeah, I was just not. That was not the move today. So I am rocking my normal everyday brows that I always do. It's not that big of a deal, but I did just want to throw that out there. So, moving on to the rest of the face. As you guys can see, for the most part, 90s makeup overall was pretty minimalistic. As you can see, we have the classic thin 90s brow. The eyes were very, very simple. And then as for the lips, it was either nude or the very popular deep russet red or berry lip. So I'm not going to ramble anymore. Let's just go ahead and jump right on into this. Alright, so to start, I'm going to grab my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to grab the shade Jax, and I'm literally just going to start packing that all the way across the lid. Kind of in like a circular motion. You know how today we kind of like wing it out and drag it out? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm literally just going to be leaving it right on the eye and kind of rounding it out. You could very well just take some black eyeliner, outline your entire eye. Don't wing it out. Just literally outline your eye. Kind of smudge it out and make it look real dirty and messy looking. Pop on some mascara and you could be done. Like, literally. And it honestly could be considered 90s grunge as well. But I did just kind of want to give you guys just a little bit. It ain't gonna be much, but just a little bit more than just some messy black liner. And then next, I'm just going to take a clean blending brush, and I'm just going to use this to kind of diffuse the edges so there's not really any harsh lines. Just kind of soften it up a little bit, also to make it look a little bit more on the messy side, like that. So you see the difference? Next, I'm just going to take some black eyeliner. I'm going to use this to outline my entire eye. And it absolutely does not have to be perfect, because back then, honey, child, the messier the better. Plus, we're just going to kind of smoke it out anyway in a second. So I'm just literally running a line across the top. Let me just say, it has been so long since I've used an eyeliner like this on the top of my eye. Obviously, we have moved on to liquid liner for the tops of the eyes nowadays. And even back then, it wasn't even necessarily these type. I mean, some people use these, but for the most part, it was literally a black pencil, like the pencil eyeliner. Like, ugh, God. I can feel it stabbing me now. And then sometimes you can either run it on your wrist to warm it up, or even if you really want to go there, sometimes we took a lighter to warm that guy up and get it ready to put on. Oh, God. Right, so the eyeliner is on. I had to do the bottom off camera, girl, because woo! And obviously, as you can see, there is no wing, which feels so weird because I've been doing a wing for like how long now? So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a pencil brush and dip into the black shade in her palette, which is called Abyss. I'm just going to use that to kind of smoke out the liner that we just did, both on the top and the bottom. Like we've been sleeping in this eyeliner for about 3 days. That's the look we're going for. And again, I'm going to do it to the bottom as well. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to pop on some lashes. Now, in the 90s, lashes weren't necessarily a thing. It was basically just pop on some mascara on your natural lashes and keep it moving. I mean, I'm sure lashes were used maybe like in Hollywood, like with the movie stars and stuff like that. Sometimes, because a lot of the times, even the movie stars and actresses and actors and music artists, they even themselves just used the mascara and kept it moving. But I simply can't resist. Alright, so moving on to the rest of the face. Now is the time that I would go in with a bronzer. I don't really think bronzer was much of a thing back in the 90s. Everything was really matte and flat, obviously. But homegirl up here needs just a little bit of dimension, okay? So I am going to go in with some bronzer, but I'm going to be very, very light-handed with it. I'm not going to do that much. So I'm going to take my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I'm just going to go in with just a little bit. Not much. Just enough to give my face a tad bit of dimension. Like, Jesus, what were we doing in the 90s? I'm just going to sweep whatever's left on the brush, just kind of in my normal bronzing areas. And contouring the nose definitely was not a thing. But again, homegirl's gonna do just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because, frankly, my nose is a little bit on the fat side. And we want to snatch her. So she's gonna be very light. I'm taking the same Butter Bronzer. Just very light and natural looking. So there we are, very much on the natural side. You can't really tell. And as for blush, once again, blush was a thing. I feel like either you didn't do any or you went too overboard. So I am going to go in between that. I am going to do a little bit of blush just to bring some color back to my face. But just like I did with the bronzer, I'm going to go very, very, very light. And you're not really going to be able to notice it too much. So I'm just going to go in with my Makeup Revolution Hot Spice blush palette. I'm just going to take this kind of light peach shade right here, as well as the mauve pink right above it. I'm just going to kind of mix the two so I can just get me kind of like a light, natural flush of color going on my cheeks. Dab off a lot of the excess because we don't want that much. Just a little dabbeth. Not much. Alright, now this is the most disappointing news of all time. Highlights was like, oh, it was not really a thing. And y'all know how much I live for my highlights, and to not have any of it on my face at all. Oh, the agony. No highlight on the cheeks, no highlight of the nose, no highlight of the inner corners or the brow bone. Anywho, before I lose my mind, we're going to go ahead and move right on into the last step, which is the lips. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it was either a nude or it was a deep russet red or a berry shade. So for me, today, what I'm going to do for my look, I am going to go with the deep russet red trend. So what I'm going to be using for my lips today is Unicorn Blood by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And there we have it. Setting spray was definitely not a thing. So we're pretty much done. Alright guys, that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this look and this tutorial and getting nostalgic and taking it back all the way to the 90s. And if you did enjoy this video, or if you're just obsessed with the 90s like I am, then please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. I love you all, and I'll see ya in the next one. What?